Hey everybody and welcome back. I am Titan9, and I hope you have all enjoyed your starter events. I played at quite a few myself, met some lovely opponents, collected all the starter packs that I needed for my collection. Had a lot of lovely matches with people. It was a great time, and a lot of great stores in my area, so no complaints there. But we now have to shift gears. Newtype Rising is coming out, the first booster set from the Gundam card game, and the events for this will be sealed. And I'm going to do a couple of videos kind of walking through the process of how to approach sealed. This intro will be at the beginning of all the videos, so just look at the timestamps if you've already watched one of them, and you can just skip ahead to the deck building part of the video. The sealed rules have done a lot of changing over the course of my practicing for it, so it's been a bit of a wild ride. At the beginning, everybody was sort of assuming that it was going to be 6 packs, 40 cards, no color restrictions. And Wing Table here, if you're a patron, you get to do sealed events on it, of which I am. So I was practicing that here for a while, and that felt pretty reasonable. And then suddenly it became, all right, now it's 8 packs, 30 cards, no color restrictions, which I thought was crazy because that's almost 100 cards. And you at least a color restriction would just keep people from playing all of their rare cards together. But then it turned out that in Japan, their packs have half the cards in them. So in reality, what we seem to have finally settled on is that there will be 4 packs for everybody, still 30 cards, and no color restrictions. That is kind of a different animal. What I've been noticing in playing the 8 was just, you made an awesome deck with that. That wasn't too hard. 6 was interesting. You could get a pretty decent deck if you kind of knew the right way to approach it. With only 4 packs, essentially cutting out 19 cards. And also you have to be aware that a significant portion of your 30-card deck, 6 cards... All right, you want to do some math there. It's 20% of your deck is not even going to be accessible to you unless they have a burst effect on them. And obviously 5 cards are in your hand, so people do the math, and you're like, oh, there's only 19 cards in my deck. Uh-oh. Games don't seem to go too long, but there's less synergy happening. It's just sort of like your vanilla dudes maybe sometimes have an effect against my vanilla dudes. If you're lucky, you get a Link Pilot. I've seen some people online argue about how many bases to include. At the end of the day, you're going to find about 2 or 3, maybe a little more, but I don't like that 04 base either, so I don't like to include it if I don't have to. So you don't really have a lot of choice, I guess, in a lot of your deck decisions. Some people were like 4 to 6, but you're not even going to see 4 to 6. Pretty much 98% of the time, you're only looking at 4 packs. Packs sometimes have no bases in it, sometimes 1. I think they're all common, so you could see some more, but I haven't. The most I've seen when I've done these has been 3. And usually it's that 04. I try not to include it if I don't have to, but it does have a nice little benefit of like bouncing a thing. I just haven't seen a lot of value in that. That's a nice tempo play, but sealed isn't really about tempo because your decks can't take advantage of that. But that's just me getting into the weeds here. I'll kind of go in the specifics with each sealed pull that we do. We will play a game. Wing Table's attempt to make progressive matches harder is to just give the opponent an extra resource at the beginning of the game. Not an EX resource, an actual factual resource. And when you had 6 packs you were opening, you could find enough synergy pieces together to get ahead of that. And you could definitely do it when you had 8 packs. But at 4 packs, what I've been finding is you just get run over. Because there's not a lot of synergy, and the objectively powerful cards coming down first, it becomes, imagine you're going first on your turn 1 play. You have nothing to do with your 1 resource. Your opponent starts with 2 and the EX resource. So on their first turn, they play a Rickdom, and they don't even have to get rid of that EX burst. So they just get this 3/3 breach guy, and your first play on turn 2 is maybe a 2/2. If you're lucky, it's a Zaku 2. Like, it's just so hard to come back, and they're still going to play bigger and bigger units after you. So it's not fun for you guys to watch. You can win when they have the extra resource, but you have to get very lucky, or they have to get very unlucky. It's not good gameplay, so we will open up the pack, see what we have, walk through some deck building decisions, play one match with the deck where the opponents are in a usual resource allotment, and then afterwards we'll check in and see, like, did that work? Is there something we like to switch out? Did we leave something out that could have been better? And that's how the process will go. But thank you for staying tuned for this a little bit of a long intro, but let's actually dive in and get into some games, shall we? All right, and welcome back for the last video in the series to get you ready for your booster events. Sealed, if you've watched my other videos, you've noticed a little wonky. If you listened to the intro, hopefully that was helpful. If not, if you've already heard it in another video, hopefully you were able to jump ahead with the timestamps. But we're going to dive into our another pool. It's been a lot of ups and downs as we've been going and just sort of trying to make something work out of the... It doesn't feel like it's few cards because you're only getting rid of 19 cards, but it's just like, how do I make them work? I like this base in sealed. I'm not going to be upset about a 3-2 or 4-3. I love this card. I loved it in beta, and I certainly love it in sealed. We have somehow opened 2 of these, so hopefully... I keep seeing that little 2-1 orb thing all the time. Hopefully I find some of those. I like this card. It's a generic link. Big fan of that. Don't love this card in sealed. This card can be okay. It's a nice kind of aggressive defensive card, sort of a meat and potato card here. This can be good in an early game depending on what's in your deck. We don't have Troa, but it does work with any pair, but I've been confused all series long. I'm thinking it's that Gundam Heavy Arms from the starter deck, which does have a Troa. There's a second Heavy Arms from the main set, and it just gets Breach 3 during pair. Oh, that Wu Fei video... That would have been excellent to use there. Did I open that in that pile? I don't remember. I've played so many of these sealed events in the last couple of days. Well, hopefully when I screwed that up, you left a comment there letting me know that I'm thinking of the wrong Heavy Arms. So overall, a pretty decent pack. Even worst case scenario, I just give a generic white unit blocker. We don't have any of them in this pack, crazy enough, but I certainly like having these. Even if we can't link it to anything, it will have a use, and I love that for my pilots. We have... Oh, look. Well, this one already has blocker. There's no white units here either. Man, a duo pilot would certainly look good in the pool that we've had so far. I like this card, as I said before. Not crazy about anything. This is sort of decent. If we find a Makuve, this is decent. This is a good pilot, just sort of generically. We're unlikely to find a link for it, because the link for it is an LR, I believe. But 2-2 is nothing to sneeze at. This card's good. Well, this is just a nice top end, even without a duo. There are plenty of other Operation Meteor pilots we could find. Actually, that may not be true. It might just be duo at rare and Chang Wu Fei at uncommon. It's a 5-4 at turn 6. Is that good enough? Well, we're going to see based on the rest of our pool. Let's open them up. Decent. Where are... Oh, we got the 2 white units. The 2 white units we've had... Let me speak that again. The 2 white units we've had both have blocker. There are no other white units. We got some bases, but I probably won't use this one. Ooh, another one of these. That might be good enough for me. We're not Xeon, but we could end up using our Dozel. It also works nice as a command in the late game when you're level 5 anyway, to just like finish off the opponent. This card's just nice on its own. It's a nice body. Got the repair 1. All right, let's open up this pack, shall we? More base, a lot of bases. All right, here we go. We can't use this link ability, but it is a white unit. We do have a Makuve. Ooh, a Sayla, that opened up some... white unit. This card's not so bad. I like this for the burst. 20% of your cards go to your shield. I'm sorry if you've watched all my videos, you hear me say this a lot, but I really want to hammer this point home, because that's really where you can gain a lot of minor advantages that will help you win the game in the long run. 20% of your cards go to your shields. So the more you can get value out of those cards by having them with burst, have some effect from there, the better position you are. You have more cards than your opponent on natural, right? Your opponent might not have those or might not have put them in their deck. So you have a mathematical advantage over them. So, all right, we can look at our generic blue units as well, too. This is all right. The seal pool doesn't magically form together, but I think we can build something pretty nice if we have a keen eye. So let's take a look. First thing, as usual, we go to our pilots. We do want these. It's not as pressing as it was because we don't have a lot of white unit. We had so many like 2 cost, level 2, level 3 white units early on in other sealed pools, and we saw none of them this time. It's like the computer knew. This could be okay if we have a lot of Academy things to go with it. I don't like this card. It looked like we had enough Xeon cards where this would be useful. And I wasn't paying attention to the blue cards, but we'll take a look and see if this is useful too. Banagher could be good. So I don't know exactly. We're going to include at least one Kigali. We know there are no orb things, but we'll look at the Xeon and we'll look at the Academy and the blue cards, Earth Federation white. But she actually has so many qualifications. This is a really excellent pilot in sealed. She can go on so many of your units. Our commands, so here's a Xeon pilot. Pretty decent command. Academy, Xeon, but also makes tokens, so I'm into that. I don't think we had any Magwanok link things. This is a pretty good card in sealed because of that burst. It just could give you a card, and that 2 damage comes up more than you think. For the 2 damage alone, I wish it either cost a little less or was a level lower, but then it wouldn't have the draw 1 burst. So trade-offs. Zapped, we didn't see a lot of there, and same thing here. Our bases. We actually have an embarrassment of riches in bases. I've never had this many bases before. Maybe that's why I have so few white units at low levels. I definitely will want the 2 of these. I am unsure about these. I'm very skeptical of the 4 base. This ability could come in handy, but I want to go see what the rest of my pool looks like before figuring that out. We might not have enough Academy units for this to get much value out of. Let's go look at our units. So let's check out... First, we're going to sort them by level, so I can get an idea of curve. I don't know if we're going to want both, but we'll see as things shake out. And we don't really have a lot of... my goodness, so few white units and 4 white units overall. This card's good, but might not be helpful for us because we might not have that many command cards, and it's level 6, so let's not go crazy. This card is just good, and we sadly can't link with it, but good enough on its own anyway. Xeon unit, link there. This is a good card, and it works well with our Kigali. 3-4 for 2. Don't hate that. Xeon, and does link with Makuve. And we have an extra Xeon pilot to go with it, but there might not be a lot of blockers on the other end. This encourages us to have pilots. Breach 3, not terrible. Like it. Xeon, like it. Earth Federation, definitely at least 1. We'll see how the rest of our curve is looking, because that goes well with our Sayla. This goes well with the Sayla, and I would like giving this repair 1. That would be nice. We could rush with this. Just as good sort of in the early game anyway, because of that first strike. Xeon works well with Makuve, and I like the 2-3 body anyway. 2-3 body I like. Saft, Xeon. Definitely 1, maybe a second one because of the Makuve. Breach 1 doesn't sound exciting, but it is in sealed when you're not expecting a lot of bases. This, if this is my first video, this is not the norm. If you've watched my other videos, I've had 2. I've had 0. Oftentimes, this is a lot. I don't often see this from my opponents, and I certainly have never seen this much amount for me. This is a rarity. This is not the norm. Okay, so we'll have this. Did I get the second one of that? We'll have the second one of this to max it because it's just good, and we can have a low enough curve. We're not super. Actually, it does look like a lot of top end, but we have the bases to make up for that. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, we should keep our units lower now. A 2-3 with an effect that can come in handy. There's a lot of times when things are going to have things trade off, but there's 1 HP left. That happens a lot. Gun tank is good in this format for that reason. And this being a 2-3 body is nice. I don't think we're going to have enough for this to matter, and I'd like this effect more. Put both of those in there. Ooh, Earth Federation, so we could rush with that. This I like because it can, if I need to be defensive, I can take out lower level units, which might come up since we have a top end sort of based game. I think I will add a second one of these. This will help us find the units we're looking for. I generally have between 20 and 22 units. I have 7 cards left to go. I'm probably going to add more units, but let's see what other pilots. I haven't even added Makuve yet, or the Sayla. Ooh. I don't know if I'm going to add both of these. We don't seem to have a lot of ways to take advantage of this. Maybe this one. I'll add... It's probably one of these two. Let's look at our commands. Pilot. Burst advantage, burst card advantage. This is sort of a defensive card, too. This has burst advantage. This card I like. Okay, we'll do that. This is a Xeon pilot, but we don't have a lot of... We only have those 2 cards that Xeon rush. I have 2 cards left to put in. Okay, sorry for the little delay there. I'm deciding. Let's look at our units and see if there's something we want to put in. Like a 3-2. All right, I think we will try this. I don't know how much this will come up. So let's just have some nice Oh, the thought was that we're going to put in more bases. But am I going to get greedy? I think we have strong cards. A lot of them are so late, though. Like, we might be dead by then. I like these commands. I like our pilots. All right, maybe I'll get rid of this one. It's nice, but that 1 damage, if I were able to link it with more things... Like, I know I have a couple of Zaf pilots, but it's not the strongest thing our card pool can do. This one could have some advantages, but that 4 is just so easy to pop. We can't really take advantage of this, so we're going to try this, but we'll think, would a Kusanagi have been better? Am I just biased against 4-cost things? It certainly is better than the side 7, not 4-cost things, 4 HP bases. It certainly is better than the white base one, but if my goal is to stay alive until I get to my things, this doesn't help me do that as well as this. Bouncing is a little better here, because they're not often linking together, so they're not rushing you all that much. That's something to keep in mind. But we're going to try it here and see how that does for us. Maybe I don't... Okay, we're actually going to... We're going to get rid of this heavy arms, because I actually don't have that many pilots like that I thought I was going to have, right? I have 5. And if I'm worried about being too top heavy, like I do have a lot of level 4s. This is an easy one to cut. Like, I didn't even include this one. I can put in... I don't know if I want to put in that 2-0 thing back in there, though. I'll put in another base. I still have 20 units. It's on the lower one I want to be. And then we'll try this one. We'll try that one out. Make everybody feel happy. All right. Save and close. And we will begin in a quick moment. The packs looked promising. Wasn't as synergistic as we would like, but it looked good. This is this top-end kind of heavy thing I'm afraid of. We do have a base, and this can kind of help us search for things. But we're going first. If we were going second, I'm a lot more open to it. We're going to mulligan. All right, what do we got here? It has not gotten much better, and I didn't want to have this in my hand, though it will have use. Oh, no. Oh no, it was looking so promising. The top end, too top heavy. Which is impressive because it meant that the top 10 cards of our deck had all of the really expensive cards, right? Because we don't shuffle before we get the second hand, and we've drawn more of it. Like, this would be prime time to, like, get units down on the board, rush our opponent, break their bases, and, like, really hit them hard. And even when we get the resources to play these things, we're not going to get to double spell. Oh, look, they did that. We're not going to get to double spell or do anything useful with it. I will save... I guess we have 2 of them. I could double spell with this on another turn, so I will play one of these. We're trying to get advantage. We are going to get to take out their base. They could attack us and deal us that one. That would be annoying, but then we could use this. They don't have the repair. Oh, they do because it's blue. Okay, well, that's fine. They'll do 3 to this, and we'll still be able to finish this off with 2 on the following turn. Hey, look at that. So we could play this base and play one of our 3-cost things and get an extra card out of it. This one. This one's probably the best because we don't have a link for it anyway. I guess I'm not more likely to rush with one or the other. I can't rush with Kigali on this. It just would have blocker. This one has repair, but they're probably going to play big units soon anyway. I think I'm going to play this because I want the extra AP. I think big units are going to start coming down. So let's play that one. We will go and attack here. And then if they don't attack here, we can just trade here. But this isn't going to be able to get through. They want to trade, yeah. So they think they're going to repair 1 and be fine, but I'm going to deal 2 to it next turn. It's only 1, right? Phew, yes. Gyan won't affect us. They got the same pilots we did. But look, now we have that if they want to do their trading. So let's play this. Make sure we kill this while we have the opportunity. All right, we can't attack into that, but we don't want to, so that's fine. We're just going to play this blocker, I imagine. Let's attack. All right, let our bases hold the own. So this is the nice thing about having these extra bases. Of course, I have only drawn the bases we definitely were including, but that 6 is just so important. We're going to hold this because we could rush this. We can't rush this. Also, in a world where they go wide on us, at least we have this. I could rush this because I have this, but not this turn. Next turn. If I want to rush with a 3-5, it doesn't seem super exciting. Since rushing is so uncommon in sealed, and your opponents are, if you know, they're probably not going to expect it too much, that's a good advantage. I'm not going to block because I don't mind trading here. It's good to save the rushing for the end because they're less likely to expect it, and they'll have been doing. Oh, it's like the mirror match. What's going on here? Our unit can kill their base. Theirs cannot. Just saying. Ooh. Oh, it's only level 2. All right, this won't come up at all. I just saw Xeon Pilot and something about blockers, and I was like, ooh, they have a blocker. Haha. They probably will block here. I don't have a pilot that beats up my defense, so I have no advantage to that. This can't pop the base, which is annoying. Do I just want to hold tight or get rid of that right now? I guess I want to get rid of it now, keep this base up, and just keep flooding the board. Let's try to do it. Yeah, okay. Akagali wouldn't have given that blocker anyway. It is what it is. This, let's see. So I've got 6 mana. I want to maximize that. I could use this as a command, and I would have 2, 3, 4 units. I could just play these and not bother to try to rush this. I think I have to play this. Oh, but I would have this too. I don't know if rushing this will matter. And I have 2 other Xeon. Oh, I put that command one back, didn't I? I have Makube, though, but then I could rush with that. Do I want to go wide, though? Like, do I need to go wide? Because if I use this and this gets killed somehow, I don't have a way to break through this base anyway. So that didn't gain me anything. All right, we're going to try this. Worst case, if this dies, Dozel can give this +1, and we can finish off that base. All right, not super interested in these. I have to keep this in mind, though, for like my little AP people. Let's clear out that base. See, with the base gone, now going wide might be more useful. Or even just rushing with this might be useful. Because this takes 6, yeah, but then I can't play anything else. I could just play 3 units and then save my big burst rush attack for next turn. We talked about doing that earlier. So their decks seem to also not have too many low-cost units either, because we haven't seen a lot of them. A lot of our decks have been very similar a lot of the time. Oh no. That's fine. So I guess that this being able to kill the preponderance of 2/2s that are floating around in the meta, I guess that's pretty good. This is annoying. Wait, I wish I had... Oh my goodness! These are some nice cards! Actually, not the best cards. This is annoying, though. But let us see... We didn't include Banagir. That's like our way to get through it in one hit, I think. We're going to play this base anyway, so we know we're going to do that. Kigali doesn't help us here. Because it's 6, not 5. So this has 3. This would have 3. This has 3. And then try to plow through with these. Or do I want tokens? Well, I'm going to play this too. No, I'm not. I don't have that much mana. Resources. But their trades aren't great. Like, they would lose a lot of their field too. Okay, let's do it. I don't want to attack with these. Because if they have a 4-cost base, I want them available for that. If they have a 5-cost base, I want one of them to team up with Magog and finish that off. So that's why I'm going to attack with the 2 3s. That's the best way to get it in only 2 hits and maximizing things. Because if I attack with one of these 2 to get rid of it, and then 2 4s flip over, I'm going to be sort of annoyed about that. This is a way to play around that. If they're 5s, I can't do much to play around that anyway. Play you. I was close. I was close to being able to get that effect off. All right, we surprised them with our Adzem attack, not Big Zom, Adzem. There we go. All right, now let's see if we can mow them down. Did we get them just in time before they really got to pop off? So far, so good. If this is a 4 base, we can clear it, but we obviously couldn't win, and it doesn't matter. All right, we did it. I thought our slow start was going to hurt us. Let's see. They had a Big Zom, too. Well, they had some nice cards there. I thought our slow start was going to hurt us. Our opponent fortunately had one as well. There will be ways to take advantage of that, but again, that was sort of unlucky, right? You could look back at the beginning of the video, see what all the card quantities and levels are in that deck builder. We did have a high curve, but it wasn't crazy high. We certainly saw the vast majority of it between the 2 hands we had, because remember, those were all on top. Those were the top 10 cards, and none of them were level 3 or lower, or there might have been 1 level 3 or lower. That was a unit. Very unlikely for that to happen over the course of a whole event. Probably wouldn't happen at all, but that is why I did want to go lower. I am glad we took that Troa card out to put in the other base. Tried to focus on getting more of the lower cost units in there. It didn't come up that game, but I bet it would come up in other games. Something to keep in mind. But there you go. Hopefully one or all of these videos were helpful for you in your sealed weekend event. If any of the tips helped you out, please let me know in the comments or on Discord at Titan9. You can hang out on the Gundam TCG Discord. A lot of wonderful people there. A lot of very smart people hang out there. You can get a lot of advice from them as well. Otherwise, enjoy your games. Enjoy finally getting our hands on these new cards. And look forward to seeing you on the battlefield.